What's good, family? It's your boy Big L with another foreign blast, man. I wanted to holler at y'all for a little bit because I woke up this morning, man, and cruised through social media, and I got a chance to see folks was going in on Creflo Dollar. If you don't know who Creflo Dollar is, man, Creflo Dollar is a mega church pastor down in Georgia. Uh, he is the founder of World Changers Church International. Now, Creflo has been in the news, man, over the years for several different reasons, and it oftentimes has a lot to do with some of his theology. He is popularly known to be a prosperity preacher. A prosperity preacher, to sum it up simply, would be someone who preaches that uh, you will have money and other riches given to you by God if you do certain things. I like to sum it up simply as just manipulation of scripture, manipulation of things that Jesus said, and just flat out lies oftentimes, the things that he never said. Now, Creflo was in the news, man, because he wants people, 200,000 people to be exact, to donate $300 each so he can buy a $65 million Gulfstream G650 airplane. Yes, he wants 200,000 people to donate $300 each so he can buy a $65 million jet in order for him to quote unquote be able to better do ministry. Okay? Now, he released a statement, man, or his church, his business, released a statement saying, that they had a plane that they bought back in 84, that was built in 84. They bought it back in 99 in order for them to better be able to do ministry. And it's logged all these millions of miles, and it recently had some engine problems. Uh, so the plane is in bad shape, so they say. Now, I understand that the last thing I want is for Creflo and his staff to be in a doggone plane in the air and something happens to the plane and they crash and something ill happens to Creflo and his staff. I don't wish that on anyone. And that's not even my biggest issue with them. My biggest issue with them, man, is the fact of they're willing to ask people to do something along these lines. They're willing to ask people to give $300 for him to buy a new $65 million jet plane. Okay? To buy a jet. A $65 million jet plane. Now, people are going to be jumping on Creflo right and left. Just going crazy. Going absolutely nuts on Creflo. Now, I can dig the perspective that folks is going to have in regards to Creflo and the plane. I understand. And I don't, I'm not taking Creflo's side. I'm not cheering for this cat. I think he's a false teacher and he's been robbing the black community for years. But my biggest bone of contention is not even with Creflo. It's with other black folk who do this type of things on a local level. In your hood, in your areas, you got pastors who are doing these type of shenanigans and this type of foolishness on a smaller scale. On a smaller scale, they do this type of thing. They do this exact same doggone thing where they may not be asking you for, $300 each for them to get a $65 million jet plane, but they'll ask you for $50 or $100 in order for them to buy a new vehicle, for them to pay their mortgage. These people are taking the gospel of Jesus Christ, which was all about love and giving freely, and manipulating that in order for them to gain, under the guise of saying, I need this to be able to better do ministry. When essentially what their ministry has become is nothing more than standing behind a wood or glass podium and talking. Not, going out to the community and helping people. Not, you know, uh, being there for the community. Not taking this money and flipping it into businesses to build up the community. Now, my question has to be, is that these pastors' responsibility? I believe it is. I believe it is their responsibility to help these communities out that they're dealing with and that they're pilfering and they're robbing and stealing from. But I just want people to begin to think critically, because when these mega pastors come out and they do things like that, it's so easy to attack the Creflo. It's easy to get mad at the TD Jakes. But how come folks are not getting mad at the local pastors? You know, they're not getting mad at the cats that's right in their own neighborhood. You know what I mean? They're not getting mad at the pastors who are doing, this same thing on the local level, man, who have been robbing the black community for years. And it's so sad and disturbing to me that we had a tour bus of white kids come together, man, and yell and scream how, you know, these black folks can never be a part of the SAE. All they can do is hang from a tree. You all know what took place at the University of Oklahoma. Black folks were up in arms about the words that these people were using and saying. And not to say that we shouldn't be mad. I'm just saying at this point in time, your expectation should be that there are going to be white people who are white supremacists. That should be. That should be right there. You should expect that. But we want to march and protest and petition against these white kids who we should expect to do this, but we don't want to do anything about the Creflos. You know what I mean? Who we expect. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Yes, Creflo is a thief. Yes, he is a liar. Yes, he's a manipulator. Yes. But what are we going to do about the Creflo? You can't force people to stop giving to Creflo. All you can continue to do is to share with Creflo, or share with the people that Creflo ain't no damn good. And my problem is, when you got Creflos coming out, see all these white evangelical Christians come out and attack Creflo for his gospel, but these are the same white evangelical Christians who are absent in the fight against white supremacy. You see what I'm saying? But they won't say anything about, the black kids being killed in the street. But they're absent in their voicing of racial injustice. See, there's something wrong with that, man. You got to begin to think critical about this. You understand what I'm saying? And folk wonder why Christianity in its westernized view is consistently rejected and under attack, it's not because of Christ. It's not because of his sacrifice. It's because of those who proclaim his name, who claim to be followers of him. That's the frustrating thing, man. Yeah, I'm tired of seeing Creflo and these other cats rob and steal from our community. I'm tired of it. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, we got to begin to educate people, man, and share with them why is what Creflo doing wrong. Because you're gonna see tons of people, man, come out and support him. You're going to see tons of people come out and explain and trying to rationalize what these cats have done. But Creflo, to me, at this point in time, man, is a he's non-news because he's doing the same thing that you expect him to do. He's not even. This is not even a news story, man. This is who Creflo is. But we want to get up in arms on things like that. We're so reactionary when it comes to foolishness like this, man. I continue to say, man, that these churches, these pastors, man, are invisible and impotent when it comes to things that matter. When it comes to things that matter, you're asking people to give up this doggone money to do stuff like this. And it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. So be prepared to ask the difficult questions. Think critically about this. Why is what Creflo doing an issue? How do you stop the Creflos? How do you educate the people about the Creflos? How do you question the white evangelical community that is silent on other issues regarding black community, but always wants to jump in the fray when it comes to issues like this? My big concern with the TDs and the Creflos and all those things are not just simply the fact that they're false teachers, that they also are thieves and robbers of the black community. They're robbing the black community of their opportunity to be prosperous by manipulating and influencing these people to take part in this prosperity gospel, which continues a cycle of violence and piss poor conditions within our community. Not just the fact that the prosperity gospel can prevent people from distorting a salvation message. It can. But Jesus is the one who does the saving. And I think it's just a piss poor mixture of salvation, man, of understanding salvation when you deal with these cats like Creflo. Begin to think critically. Just don't fall for the okie doke. Yeah, these dudes are bad and you should be upset. But why are you upset? What's motivating you to be upset, to keep you there? I just want people to think critically. This dude is asking 200,000 people for $300 each in order for him to buy a $65 million jet to do ministry, something that Jesus did for free. For free. Think about it, family. I love you. It's your boy Big L. Holla at me.